Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of the Python Fundamentals series. In this video, we will continue our exploration on advanced data types. Let's get started. In the previous video of this series, we talked about lists and tuples data types, which are two very important data types in Python that you will use over and over again. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the dictionary data type, which is another very useful data type that you will use throughout your programming journey. And no, you don't have to read an entire dictionary to know about this data type, because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it works. A dictionary is known as a mapping data type, which means that it maps a collection of keys to their associated values. Let's first take a look at how we can create a dictionary in Python. We put data inside curly brackets to tell Python that we're dealing with a dictionary. Dictionaries store data as key value pairs, and each pair will look something like this. So it's going to be the key, and then a colon, and then the value of that key. And pairs are separated by commas. The keys of a dictionary can be any immutable type, although strings are probably the most common, and the values can be of any data type. And in this cell, we can see an example of a dictionary. Firstly, it's going to be the name of the variable, which is a mysterious language. And then there's going to be the equal sign telling Python that we're assigning something to this variable. And then we see a curly bracket, an open curly bracket, and a closing curly bracket. And inside this curly bracket, this pair of curly brackets is the data of this dictionary. We can see there are 4 key value pairs inside this dictionary, the first of which has a key of name, and then we see a colon. The space here is optional, and then lastly is going to be the value, which in this case is Python. And after this key value pair, we have a comma. You don't have to put it on a different line, you can just put it like this, although this is probably easier to look at. And then we have the second pair, which is going to be first released in 1991, is useful. It's going to be holding the value of true, and the operating systems is going to hold the value of a dictionary, a list. And if I run the cell, we can see the dictionary printed out here, and the type of this data is going to be class dict, which is the abbreviation for dictionary in Python. Accessing entries in a dictionary is quite similar to retrieving data from a list or a tuple. Instead of passing in the indices, however, we pass in a key inside the square brackets. So here we can see this is going to give us the value inside a mysterious language whose key is first released. So let me print this out, and we'll see 1991 printed out, because up here in the definition, first released holds a value of 1991. Modifying a dictionary is possible because dictionaries are mutable, meaning that it can be changed. And here, we're changing the name of a mysterious language to C++. And we do this by first accessing the item and then using the assignment operator to change the value of that item. And we can also make new items. Here, for instance, we're making a new item whose key is compiled and the value is true. So if I run the cell, you'll see the new mysterious language is now C++, which was first released in 1985 as coded right here. And you can see is useful is still true since that wasn't changed. The operating system is also not changed, and we see a new data called is compiled, whose value is true. To see how many key value pairs that a dictionary has, we can pass it into the len function. And here we can see 5 printed out because there are 5 key value pairs inside the mysterious language dictionary. Dictionary is such a useful data type in Python because the language provides many methods to work with dictionary. So in this example, we're gonna take a look at the John dictionary, which has 3 different key value pairs, and that's what we're going to be working with to demonstrate the methods of a dictionary. The first one we're going to take a look at is the .get method, which allows us to access the values of a dictionary key. The difference between the .get method and using the square bracket is that if we use a square bracket to try and find the value of a key that does not exist inside a dictionary, then a key error will be thrown. With the .get method, this can be avoided because none will be returned. So to show you that, here we're trying to access the value whose key is job in the John dictionary, which is going to throw a name error because actually I forgot to run this cell to define John. And now if I run it, we'll see a key error generated because John or job is not a key inside John. So that is going to be how we use the square brackets. On the other hand, if we use the .get method to get job, we'll see none printed out because Python won't throw the error because we're using the .get method to try and get the value of a key that's not inside the dictionary. And it works also really well with the keys that are inside the dictionary, like age, whose value is 20, as printed out right here. The .items method returns the items of a dictionary as a list, and each tuple in the list has two values, the first of which is the key, and the second one is the key's value. So here, if I try to print out the items of John, we'll see there are three tuples, which are the three key value pairs inside the dictionary. And in each tuple, we can see there are two values, the first of which is going to be the key, like species, and the second one is going to be the value of that key, which is human. The .keys and .values methods are quite similar in that the .keys method returns a list of the dictionary's keys, and the .values method returns the values of the dictionary. So here, if I run this cell, we'll see species and gender and age are the three keys of the dictionary, and running this cell will tell us that the values of those keys are human, male, and 20. The last method we're going to take a look at today is the .pop method, which removes the key value pair from the dictionary where the key is the argument passed into the method call, and the value of that pair is returned. So remember how at the start of this cell, we have John being a dictionary of three key value pairs. And in the second line of the cell, we're using the .pop method to remove the key value pair whose key is species. And this method call is going to return the value of human. So let me run that and you'll see that reflected in the output. And now John only has two key value pairs inside it. To summarize the lesson, today we talked about the new dictionary data type in Python, which is a very useful tool that's now in your programming toolkit. To end the lesson, we talked about how to create a dictionary and access and modify the items in it, and also how to get the length of a dictionary. The methods for a dictionary that we talked about today are the .get, .items, .keys, .values, and .pop methods. And that's it for this lesson on dictionaries in Python. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. In the next video of the Python Fundamentals series, we're going to take a look at some of the more advanced and interesting ways how we can use lists, tuples, and dictionaries to improve our programs. With that said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you then.